Hi, good morning, everyone. It's July 22nd, about 7 a.m. Central. This is Win Saldani from the Chicago Yacht Club Race to Mackinac with a race update for the morning. I've been looking at tracking and so forth for a little while. This is going to be a little longer update, trying to cover all the fleets and the weather as best I can. So let's start just by looking at the Cup division. Here, let me just turn off the run line so we can see the boats a little bit better. Our overall boat for boat leader right now is Il Mostro. They're located off of Point Betsy. This is WinQuest back here. One thing that jumps out at me right away is that if you look at Il Mostro's speed right now, it's 5.1 knots, which is the slowest we've seen in quite some time. So I think there's pretty light winds going on up there. And WinQuest, by comparison, is going 10.2 knots. That's sort of an average over the last 5 observations or so. So, I think that right off of Point Betsy there, the winds are probably a little bit lighter than they are to the south. The other thing that I noticed, and I'm going to turn the run line back on here, and this is going to be a theme, is if we look at the boats that sort of stayed over to the east of the run line here versus the ones that stayed kind of on the run line or a little bit west of the run line, it looks to me, and we'll look at some individual sections about this too, that the ones that stayed a little bit west did a little bit better. And I think that might be because we had a little bit more breeze offshore, away from the land, than we did close to the land. Now, the other thing I'm going to show you later is that I think the cold front we've been talking about is sort of in this neighborhood, maybe a little bit farther north than that, but kind of in that area right here. We're going to see winds south of that front from the south, which is what these boats are in. And we're going to see winds north of that front, kind of from the east-southeast or from the east right now. So there's definitely a really big shift going on here. And actually, let me flop over here to the cruising division because I just think it looks really fascinating here. You can see the cruising division really had some, it looks like, really light winds overnight. You can see these very sort of severe jibing angles. They even, boy, for a while there, I thought they might be tacking and going into the wind, but that doesn't really add up if you're sort of heading the directions that they're heading right now. Looks to me like they're all kind of reestablished in an easterly wind right now. Light easterly wind maybe that we're seeing up there. Some of them are making the choice to go outside of the Manitous, these two islands right here, rather than through the Manitou Passage. So this is the longer route outside of the Manitous. This is a shorter route, kind of depending on where you are inside of the Manitous. Infinite Diversion is just an update, so they're coming up to Beaver Island. Gotta love the way those pictures work. They're doing about actually we're not sure what speed they're doing. Oh no, 5.1 knots is what they're doing right now, so that information's correct. And they look to be maybe 20 or 30 miles from Gray's Reef. Actually, we can check that real fast. Let's just turn the ruler on, and yeah, about 17.8 nautical miles from Gray's Reef. So obviously showing you guys a couple cool things you can do with the tracking also. So let's just look at the Cup boats really fast and show you one more thing before I talk about the weather. Here's the Cup boats back here, sort of the, trophy boats. So the trophy boats are the little bit smaller, slower boats, and you can see where our Cup boats were up past Big Sauble or at Big Sauble. The trophy boats are back a little bit, and here's that theme again. Look at the boats that stayed sort of to the right of the run line over here versus the ones that stayed on or even to a little west of the run line, and I would say the west of the run line ones are the best. The west of run line ones are doing better than the ones that are sort of on the run line or just to the east of it, so that's really quite good. Let's just look at that story in a little bit more detail. This is the Beneteau 36.7 section, and a whole bunch of boats really kind of close together here, but the ones that are nose out are the ones that stayed a little bit to the west. The Kill a Mockingbird, As You Wish, Maggie May, you got Weather Edge 3. I know people online have been asking about this. Split Decision, right, versus the ones that are farther back, or back here in Sorcerer, Program, Joie de Vie, right, the ones that stayed a little bit farther to the right. So again, I think we just got a little more pressure going on, sort of edge to the west of the rum line than you do to the east of the rum line. So hopefully that gives you an idea of where the fleet is right now. Let's flop over and look at the weather real quick. Really quickly, just want to show a couple of observations. So this is Big Sauble Point right here, and we can see that the winds right now are out of the west-southwest at about 6 knots. And if we look at the details of that real quick, just to give you an idea of what people have been through, you know, there was a period here right around, this is Eastern Daylight Time that this buoy is on. Look how light the winds got there around 5:40 in the morning. You know, they were out of the west-northwest. Woo, okay, different direction. We got a front around, though, and it's very complicated. They go to nothing, really, absolutely nothing, and they fill back in out of the south-southwest. So really having to grind it, you know, grind it out here and make progress. And the boats are up now. The wind speed's up to like 6 knots. That being said, let me just show you one more. This is Grand Traverse Light. And Grand Traverse Light, as I said, the wind's out of the east-southeast at only 1 knot, but that's, you know, looks like Infant Diversion is up here, and they're getting a little more wind than that. The Mid-Lake buoy, to give you an idea, is out of the east at about 9 knots or something like that. So again, in the big picture, south winds, west-southwest kind of winds here, and east winds here, and our front is somewhere in between the two of them, is what I would say, my analysis. Speaking of the front, I'm going to use the NAM again here, and my analysis last night was wrong, but this makes sense now. See these sort of south-southwest winds here by Big Sauble, and east winds. I think these east winds are a little overdone right now, but east winds north of the front. Here's the front right there. And so just going forward, the front kind of hangs out, maybe punches north just a little bit. Then that's at 10 o'clock this morning, Central. Still hanging out. Look, we got a little bit sort of a northerly going on as a high pressure system, and maybe some little thermals try to build up at the north end of the lake. Front still hanging out right here. Still got a high pressure thermally kind of look in the north end of the lake. So there's going to be some work for the boats to make it to the north. Same thing going on through 7 o'clock tonight. But look at now the front has started to progress northward just a little bit, and the southerlies are really starting to get established down here. And by the time we get to 2200, so 10 o'clock tonight, now our front's kind of moving back north as a warm front here, and you can see sort of a southeasterly getting established, southerly on this part of the lake, but most of our boats are going to be gone. And that southerly really gets cranking. Southeasterly, starts to open up a little bit more through the straits and becomes southerly and really opens up on the lake. Our boats are going to be out of this, I think. This is by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. I expect everyone to be at minimum kind of up here. We'll have finishers by this time, I think. And just, boy, really nice breeze out of the right direction tomorrow. So that's my overview for the day. I hope that's helpful, and I'll be watching Facebook on and off all day long. And thanks again, everyone, for your time and your comments and your questions. Bye.